talking about big bucks, let's talk about this Man United takeover. Apparently, there's different parties interested. There's
Two confirmed bids.
two confirmed bids. One led by Sir Jim Radcliffe, the other by a Qatari investment group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're saying that
what's your
there's
thoughts?
a potential third bid from a US fund for 5 billion.
Yeah,
Like the British media and people trying to say human rights records and blah blah. All these billionaires have human rights issues. Like the thing with the British media, they like to go on like Britain's like some peaceful country that haven't done dirt in the past. This country's dirt is still moving. It's still going on. There's still islands in Africa where they're still doing dirt there, but they keep quiet. They keep it. It's for me. It's borderline racism with this whole Qatar agenda. Anything Qatar want to do, human rights, human rights, human rights. Is like they don't want them to prosper. Must it only be you guys that prosper? Like these people have had issues in the past and they want to change their country's identity. What's wrong with that? If we were to beat the UK with human rights issues, it would never end because they've done the most dirt. So they need to shut the hell up and miss me with that. Me, I want that Qatari money. I want that Qatari money. I want that money. I want that oil money. Bruv, wash me with oil, bruv. If Qatar comes into United, yeah, I'm calling myself Al Isaac, bruv. I'm changing my name, Al Isaac. I'm Qatari. I feel like I'm Qatari. Like the FIFA president said. Today I feel Qatari. I want Qatari money because when you saw the proposition and the two bids that they put in, the Qatari people come out and said, we've been Man United fans from '92. We want to create a new stadium, want to create a new training ground. We want to build within the community as well, restore United to the best team in the world, invest in the team, invest in the squad. And it's going to be debt free. We've got the money. We're worth 400 billion. We've got, it's like 6 billion is light work for us. We've got the money. Sir Jim's proposition, majority takeover, not full 100% takeover, majority takeover, is going to be financed by a US bank. I want to restore United to their former glories. I'd like to restore United to Champions League football and winning Champions Leagues in the future potentially. I'm a United fan. Sir Jim has season tickets for Chelsea. The team that he owns in France, Nice, the fans are not happy with him. They're saying that he doesn't invest in the team. The board and managers are not good. So I can already see Sir Jim being a new British Glazers. Apart from he loves the club, he loves the team. I'm not convinced, and his money's limited because if you're having to buy the club on debt, that's been a problem with the Glazers. They bought the club on debt, so they can't afford to finance the club accordingly. They can't afford to even fix the stadium. When you go to Old Trafford, yeah, it's a historic stadium, but when you go inside it, it's rusty. We don't even have screens in the stadium to even see the replays. Has he got the money, or is he even willing to for that level of investment required to fix Old Trafford and the training ground? I don't think he has that, especially if he's having to buy the club in debt. I don't want that. We've had enough of the Glazers and the debt issues. I don't want another Sir Jim to come in with debt. I just want that Qatari money, man. I don't. Yeah, they call me Qatari whore. So be it. I don't give a damn. I don't give it because America's done dirt. America's done dirt. Britain's done dirt. All these Western countries have done dirt. So stop this whole Qatari agenda. Every time these Middle Eastern countries want to do something, human rights issues. What about your human rights issues, man? Yeah, that stuff pisses me off, man. But yeah, like imagine, yeah, we get Qatari money, yeah, the players that United could potentially buy. Because already United have been rubbish for 10 years and our revenues are still top 5 in the world. So FFP is not going to be a problem for us. I'm having dreams of Mbappe, man.
I would say it's not even a counterpoint, but it's a perspective that I heard recently on a podcast that it's the fact that United and even Liverpool have to sell their clubs because the owners don't really want to back them with their own money is crazy because look how much United's worth, look how much Liverpool's worth, look at their owners, look how much they're worth. The fact that they can't afford technically to back their team because of how much Man City's been spending and how much Man City's been doing stuff outside of outside of the rules and have much success they've had. It's crazy that in order for even Man United to get to the promised land, they need ownership, Qatari ownership. They need to get backed by billionaires
I disagree with that
with a stake.
because United have been self-funded for years, and regardless of how much City spent, United spent over $1 billion in buying players. The only
Yeah,
problem with United was mismanagement of funds in terms of the players that we bought and the managers. But in terms of actual investments in the team, we've probably spent more money than City.
yeah, but the only reason that I've said, one of the main reason differences in that is because of Pep Guardiola, and we know what they've been charged for, getting pay Mancini with two salaries. They could be doing that with Pep, and that's the only reason they have Pep. Otherwise, Pep wouldn't go there. Pep would probably be at United right now.
Because we wanted Pep.
This is what I'm trying to say. So what if what they've done is got to the point where even the Glazers, well, how much money you spent? Of course, you guys have ruined the money. You've mismanaged it, but at this point, they don't want to continue to invest again because that's the only reason they've been put up for sale. I mean, what does that say for the rest of the teams down the league? Unless they get crazy owners, they're not going to do it with nothing anyway. They can't. They can't.
Rest of the teams are getting like a lot of these teams are billionaire investors, and I think it's just the nature of football now.
Yeah,
It's more than football; it's a business now. So these kind of ownership takeovers are going to be prominent moving forward. But yeah,
yeah.
like I don't really blame City for the reason why Liverpool and United have to sell. I don't really subscribe to that model because Liverpool have won the Premier League since City have had owners. So have United.
But
And
what I was the level. Look at this. The level they had to get to just to win the Premier League. Look how good they had to be, and they still did it. They still wasn't good enough. Look how they were playing at a historic pace, historic level, and still wasn't good enough because of what Man City were doing, and they were doing it wrongfully.
yeah,
So, and they've got to the point where they've had less success and probably generated less revenue because of that success they've missed out on because another team was cheating allegedly.
I mean you can say that for United because we finished second
This is what I'm saying.
3 times. Yeah, but in terms of that, then what are you going to say for Bayern Munich? They win the league all the time.
Yeah,
It's one of them ones. It's Real Madrid and Barcelona got the most money, so it's like they win it all the time. It's the nature of football right now. The team with the most Man City, what they did was wrong and it was bookie, and they need to be punished. But it's just
At the end of the day, like people need to also remember that's not the only way. Like I've always said, why don't teams focus all their resources on producing the best youth players in the world? Then you don't have to pay 100 million, this million, that
and the
million.
best youth. But then to SB's point, the best youth players will get snatched up by City because then you produce the best youth player before you sign them to a professional contract. A City will come under the table and say,
yeah.
"Here, we'll
City
give you 50K," and then underneath that 50K, here's another 50K that will pay you through like a side hustle company. So City are probably offering double, triple what you're going to give to this youth player.
and even at City were the only team crazy enough to pay 100 mil for Jack Grealish. So they also just take whatever talent they want. I'm sure if they wasn't for these scandals, they're gonna go get Jude Bellingham. And even
Yeah.
if you look at also Newcastle and their fans, think about it. Newcastle had to no, they'll go nowhere. But the only reason they're going somewhere is because they got Middle East backing, and
Yeah.
it feels like your team can only prosper if you have Middle East backing, or even teams like Brighton. Really and truly, Brighton are doing outstanding, but really and truly, no one expects them to do anything in the next 10 years, and they got most basically every transfer right, which is crazy.
I don't think
Which
it's
is
Middle East
which,
backing.
what I'm trying to say is that it feels like if you haven't got the money, if you've not got the money to spend, if you haven't got billions to spend, you're not going to get nowhere as a team. And is that where we need to be in football?
But the thing is, it's always been like that though. Like we had teams like
Yes,
Aston Villa, they've been floating for years in like the Premier League mid-table. Teams like Everton for years floating in the Premier League mid-table, and it's always been a point of a team like Aston Villa or Everton, they need more money to take them to the next level. It's always been like that.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a double-edged sword, two sides to the argument.
It's, it's,
Two v
it's,
two
it's the thing.
viewpoints.
It's like
Yeah,
Apple and Samsung. They have all the money, so they're always going to be the best products in the market because they have the money to be the best. So you can't blame them for having money to. That means other people have to do more. They have to get investors to meet up, and that's why the Premier League's becoming a Super League, because all these clubs realize that they need money to compete with the top teams, and now all these clubs are all billionaire backed. There's no club in the Premier League, maybe Palace and Bournemouth, that ain't billionaire owned. All of these teams are getting billionaire backings, and it's becoming a Super League because
kind of like
Bournemouth can go and buy 30 million for Zanioli or whatever. They can compete with
Yeah,
AC Milan for a signing. Premier League's a super league, but I didn't mind it.
it's kind of like the
The rest
NFL,
of Europe are crying. Yeah, NFL, everyone's
NFL,
billionaire owned.
NBA. Yeah,
The only
that's
way
what
to remedy that, maybe they have to put like a salary cap, and maybe start doing this whole. They can't do draft picks because there's no.
yeah,
But
yeah,
maybe a salary cap. But end of the day, everyone's got billionaire owned.
but yeah, I think
So
we're seeing a transitional period in football, and I think the governing bodies they'll find a way to not regulate it, but it'll work itself out. I think.
yeah, FFP stuff like that will come in. More
Yeah,
regulations will come into football to kind of mitigate all of that. But yeah, I think it's just the nature of the beast, because you made a Premier League such a viable product that every billionaire wants to invest in it.
yeah,
And then the La Liga's what's that? Guillem Balaguer was crying on Sky Sports saying, "Oh, it's not fair what the Premier League are doing."
yeah,
Jamie Carragher told him, "Kick rocks,
oh,
bro," and
yeah,
I agreed, because why are you
Carragher cooked
crying?
him. Yeah,
Carragher cooked him, and rightly so, because Madrid and Barca were signing any and everyone. If you had a good player, you had to pay your taxes to Madrid or Barca.
yeah.
How many
Everybody
times did Arsenal
for
get?
years.
Look at Arsenal. You were Barcelona's
Cess
feeder club for years.
Thierry, Cess
Haleb,
Thierry, Haleb,
Caleb. Yeah,
Song,
even Song, and even Suarez went to Barcelona. Gareth Bale
yeah.
went to Ronaldo.
Ronaldo we got sacked for
Modric.
Ronaldo, Ruud van
Xabi
Nistelrooy, David
Alonso,
Beckham, Xavi Alonso, Modric.
Mascherano,
They took
Modric, like
everybody.
you said, Bell.
The
Yeah,
Premier League was a feed. Every club, every team, every league in the world was feeding for Barca and Madrid, and Spanish man, they were loving it.
Mm,
Oh yeah, we got La Liga. We got the best two teams in the world. Madrid has got They've won 14 Champions League trophies. They won 3 back-to-backs. They weren't crying then. Now that the Prem's got the money, they're crying. But the
yeah,
Prem, they were smart about it. They distributed the funds evenly, like Carragher said. La
yeah,
Liga just wanted to feed their 2 big boys, and now they're
yeah,
crying about it because the league is weak.
and even the Championship teams get when Premier League teams get relegated, they get those
They get
parachute
bounce back
payments
loans,
as well.
yeah, bounce back payments. So we try to help these leagues, but La Liga is just Real Madrid and Barcelona. The rest of it, F it.
Yeah, that's the thing. People say, or people make memes or say, people say Premier League's the best, but the Spanish teams have got more Champions League, and Spanish teams are beating more. They're beating English teams more in European competitions, that sort of thing. But the reason people say the Premier League is the best is because of the general level of competition.
yeah,
From
yeah,
1 to 20 is better.
yeah,
Madrid may be better 1, 2, but 3, 4, 5 to 20 is the Premier League all day. No one else in the world can come near to what the other teams in the Prem are doing in terms of the money and the quality of the
But the
squads.
product, the product is too good.
That's why you got Emery managing Aston Villa, you got Lopetegui managing Wolves.
Wolves,
yeah,
But in
best
terms of
product, money, everything.
in terms of Man U and this takeover, like, to be honest, I've seen agendas flying all over the place. I've seen agendas in terms of putting a negative light on the Middle East and so-called human rights issues and that sort of thing. And I've also seen other agendas on the other side as well. People trying to, I guess, downplay Sir Jim Radcliffe because they don't believe that he's got the money that the Qatari group does. I've seen that as well.
that's what I was kind of meant. Like, if people don't. They don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe to buy United because he's going to buy with debt, and
Yeah,
that's just seen as bad because then they in order, because deep down everybody knows in order to compete, you need cash ready to go and spend money in the market, and it's a bit. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the outcome.
yeah. For me, what I'll say is, I don't have the foresight to know which one is the best deal. I just don't have the foresight to do that. All I can say is we'll see. Whatever one successfully takes over Man U, we'll see over time what they do. Whoever takes over, I'll give them a chance, back them, and we'll see the job that they do over time, and we'll judge them. Then we'll judge them, I guess, 5 years into the new regime. We'll see.
I think the only thing with the Qatari investment that makes it a bit difficult is, for example, if sanctions are levied against maybe Qatar, for example, then that becomes a problem where they need to sell ASAP, like Chelsea and Russia. So that's where it could be sticky because they could find something in like Qatari's now a sanctioned entity. But yeah,
But why?
for me,
Why? If that's a possibility, wouldn't that also? I'm not sure of the politics, but wouldn't that also fall under for Newcastle's ownership and Man City's ownership?
yeah, it could. That's what I'm saying. But
But
there's a
they but
potential. But
but why I asked that is because they approved Newcastle recently. So
yeah, they
would it
proved
take?
because for
Yeah,
Newcastle, they went through a long process of
yeah.
the whole human rights issues and blah blah, and then it
Yeah.
wasn't, and then it was a long
Yeah,
debacle behind the
it's
scenes
like
before
two. It's like
yeah
2 years. Yeah.
before they finally approved it. So yeah, they're going to approve Qatar if that happens. And yeah, there's agendas, but for me, the agenda stems from buying a club and with debt. We've seen if we hadn't seen it before, I think people would be more open to Jim Radcliffe because he's British, he's a United fan, he's one of us essentially inverted commas. But United have experienced being bought with debt and have seen the repercussions of it because of the debt that we're constantly having to finance the debt payments. United can't rebuild, they can't invest in upgrading the stadium because they don't have the money. They can't upgrade their training ground, they don't have the money. So when you leverage your debt, it's crazy. You're kind of limited to what you can do.
I think that's true, but another thing, I think some of the things that you mentioned could have been done. It's just that, as we know, the Glazers like to take dividends. They like to fill their own pockets. So, yeah,
I don't think they could have done it because even if, let's say, they take dividends, the Glazers have taken about maybe 200 million in dividends to 300 million in dividend payments over the course of their ownership of United. 300 million is not enough money to upgrade Old Trafford and Carrington. That's not enough. They simply don't have the level of the scale. The reason why we want Qatari owners is the scale of project that United require right now is more than the Jim Ratcliffe probably has available to actually do. Because the redevelopment of Old Trafford is about 2 billion. And then the training ground is about another 500 million. You're looking at potentially 3 billion in redevelopments of structure before the 5 or 6 billion purchase price. So you're looking at 9 billion. That's a lot of money. That's Ineos is the Ineos is worth about 20 billion. So you think Ineos is going to have 9 billion spare to invest in United? That's a lot of money. That's why United fans want Qatari owners because of the scale of the project that they have to do. Because these men have got 400 billion, so 9 billion to them is light. But if you're worth 20 to 27 billion, 9 billion is not light. That's why we want that Qatari because we don't want the whole higiyaga of we for the we for and they love us. We don't want that. We want the new stadium, boom, new training ground, boom. Like how City did it. They built the whole stadium and then they got the training ground with the bridge linking the stadium to, and it looks beautiful. And they invested in the area. The area looks crisp, and we're dreaming of allow us to dream, man. I want to dream. Arsenal got a new stadium. Spurs have got the best stadium in Europe right now. Real Madrid are redeveloping the Bernabeu. We're Man United, and our stadiums. If you're not careful, Old Trafford might drop on your head one day. So we want to dream as well, man. That we dream.
No, I hear that, man. Well, yeah, let's see what happens, man. It's interesting times. It's definitely interesting times, man.
I'm sadly hoping for a job with the Qataris at United, man. I'm gonna put my CV in. Man. I've got ideas for them, man.
You're
You're
mute. You're
mute.
mute.
What was the rumor that they were a bit worried, the Qataris, that there's not many 5-star plus
Star
hotels?
Hotel.
Serious.
Yeah, because they want to. I think because they want to build what the scale of project that they want to do to invite attraction. You need 5-star hotels to invite the kind of attractions that they want.
Mm.
So they're probably gonna have to. It's gonna be a big project, but if they're gonna make Man United the PLC or whatever, they can build the hotels under United, under franchise of United, and then have United PLC hotel business, United PLC the stadium, and then the club. We got the hotels associated. It's a potential. If they've identified a problem, they can fix it. They got the money to fix it, and then business opportunity. They need to hire me, man. Bruv, let's work. Holla at me, man.
Yeah, man, because these Arab man, they can't be coming to Manchester and then going to the
The football hotel, Gary Neville's hotel.
Yeah.
going to
Mashallah,
flipping
what is this, bro?
Trafford Centre and going to Selfridges next to flipping shoes on.
Nah, fam, that man will slap someone. So yeah, but like it's the opportunity is there for them. It's there for them. They can do a lot. And the thing is, yeah, people complain about Middle East investments, but if you look at London itself, half of London is owned by the Middle East, anyways. The
Exactly.
Shard, who's the Shard owned by? The Emirates. It's not a Middle Eastern property. So
That reminds me of Arsenal fans were like, "Oh, we don't need oil money."
Emirates.
With Emirates on their chest, you know.
As I'm saying, the Emirates is owned by the Emirates. So you get me. Half of London's owned by Middle East. Yeah, we're complaining about Man United getting Middle Eastern money, man. Miss me.
You don't need oil money.
No,
Oh,
Denz,
But they got.
where you at,
Emirates.
mate? Yeah, I'm at the Emirates.
You know what I
Huh?
mean, though. Denz, you know what I mean.
You got the Emirates stamped in your chest, man. Fly Emirates. Leave me
we-
alone, man. Just
we know
bring
what
me
they
my
mean. We know
Qataris. Bring my Qataris, man. Bring my mandem.
I can't lie. Hearing all that 9 billion talk.
You're on mute, bro.
Hearing all that 9 billion talk, fam.
Let's get straight to it.
Arab money. Get the Arab money. Wow. I'm telling you, that Idios money is not enough, bro. We need that Arab money.
Huh?
The scale of the project requires. That's the only reason why Sir Jim is. Because when you look at his finances, I don't think he can fund it. I don't think he can fund it. The scale of the project that Man United fans want and demand from the owners, he can't. And it's going to be maybe after 5 years, Sir Jim out. Why? Because he can't build a stadium, and it's not feasible for him to actually build a stadium. So it's better to bring owners that actually can do it.